you can't be a capitalist and care about the environment. That's this division they're trying to make, but clearly that's not true.
But that's what they want us to believe.
Yeah.
Those communist greenies, they want us to believe if you're a capitalist, you're destroying the environment.
Yeah.
That is the biggest lie, because the biggest criminals, I mean, I'm not against blacks, whites, green, pink, yellow, but Black Lives Matter is one of the most racist organizations I've ever heard. I mean, I had a friend of mine who's in Black Lives Matter, and he called me a white supremacist. I didn't know what Black Lives Matter was.
Yeah.
And I looked at him and said, but I'm not white. I mean, their anger is, they want to blame the white man for the blacks' problems. I'm saying, the moment you blame, you're a victim. Fight back. My family was interned during World War II because we're Japanese. And I had about 6 families in California locked up in internment camps all along the California coast. They lost everything. They didn't complain. They're not protesting. They're saying they're victims. My uncles, who were part of those put in concentration camps, joined the 442nd Infantry Battalion to fight in World War II. The Japanese, the 442nd, have the most highly decorated Army infantry battalion in the history of the United States. Instead of saying we're victims like Black Lives Matter wants us to believe, they fought back. I had 2 uncles captured by the Japanese because they fought against the Japanese. And one of my uncles was only 17 when he was captured. And he was put in a prisoner of war camp somewhere in the Philippines. And this is a horrible story. It's because he was Japanese and the camp commander was Japanese. He says, "You're a spy." He says, "No, I'm an American." He said, "No, you're a spy." My uncle's 17 years old. So you know what the camp commander did to my uncle?
Yeah.
Castrated him.
Ooh.
In front of everybody.
Really?
And is that uncle angry? Well, I would be.
Yeah.
But he became a full bird colonel in the U.S. Army, fighting back. So my thought to everybody here is don't be passive. Fight back when anybody's trying to take your freedom away.
Yeah.
So when my friend who's black, he's a multimillionaire, he says, "You're a white supremacist." I said, "You hate white guys so much, you can't see I'm not even white." I think that's funny, personally. Yeah.
All right, so we'll be sure to donate the money from this episode to Greenpeace on your behalf. But let's go back to AI real quick, because I think you're right. AI is going to change the landscape for some careers like teachers. Do you see AI as our savior, as the villain that's going to destroy us all, or somewhere in between? And how do we make sure it's not the villain and it is our savior?
Well, I think it's both. And I did a show on a podcast also. And what I do is I'm an entrepreneur. The title of my talk is Rich Entrepreneur, Poor Entrepreneur. Yep. And as an entrepreneur, I designed a whole nother business that's going to incorporate AI. So rather than fight it or get wiped out, I said, how do I use AI to form a better business? And that was today I pitched it from the Limitless stage. I said, we're going to teach capitalism around the world using a network marketing system of marketing to teach capitalists all around the world using AI.
Yeah.
So you can be a victim to AI, or you can use AI to make you a hero.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
That's cool, man. Yeah, one thing that I'm really hot on right now is this idea of what I call capitalism-fueled charity. So, like most charities operate much more like a socialistic kind of a thing. Like they're all donations, it's all like share, and I'm like, why don't we create businesses that can generate profits? So in fact, like this whole podcast is an example of that. Everything I'm doing, how do we make good business? And again, it goes, I think capitalism is the answer to a lot of the problems. If we can get good, and I'd love to know your thoughts on this, if I'm off or on, but if we can get good, smart capitalists that know how to make money, now they can generate money, create jobs, and then they can give away some of that money, and they can do the good, they can help the environment and all that. But it's not going to be solved by just taking more and more and more and more from everybody else until nobody has anything left.
You're right on the mark. America has stopped being capitalist. I held up Marxist Communist Manifesto.
Yeah.
And as Dennis Prager Dennis Prager went to Columbia University. And in 1930, Columbia University's Teachers College brought in Marxist teachers from Germany to teach Marxism through the Teachers College. So that was 1930, and Marx predicted this would happen. He says communism would happen in 2 stages. So stage 1 was when Columbia University, where Prager went, brought in communists. So Dennis Prager studied communism at Columbia University. In the 60s, by the time I got to Columbia University, I didn't go there, I went to military school in New York. And that's when the student riots broke out. And so my generation, a boomer generation, that's where the rioting at Kent State broke out. It was 4 dead in Ohio. So what Marx said, that they were going to pollute the minds of the students. So Columbia University started it. It's right in the Communist Manifesto.
Wow.
And so that's why Dennis Prager is so anti-communist, because he actually studied. The actual person doesn't know they're a communist. When I read the Communist Manifesto when I was 18 years old in 1965, I realized most of my friends and family who are school teachers are communists. They believe in Social Security, they believe in taxation, and they believe in labor unions. I don't. So there's this matter of education again, but there's what books do you read, what philosophies do you follow. It's the same thing. I'm not against somebody being a communist, but just be aware that you are.
Yeah.
That's what the NEA, National Education Association, extremely Marxist organization.
Yeah.